Hi there, this is David and welcome to my review of the demo of Tales of Arise for the Xbox, PS4, and PS5. It should come as no surprise to anybody here that the Tales of series is one of my favorite RPGs of all time. I was first introduced with Tales of Destiny back on the PlayStation 1, and I've been hooked ever since. In fact, I've played every Western released Tales game, and for the most part, the series ranks up there with Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy for me. Having said that though, it really does pain me to say that I feel that there was a definite drop in quality after the Xillia series. I mean, Zestiria and Berseria weren't exactly the strongest entries. Maybe they just got a little bit too complicated and nebulous for their own good. Something as simple as equipping weapons and armors shouldn't take a year and a day just to figure out which one is stronger. It was such a pain in the ass. The same thing goes for using skills. I really don't want to have to go through all the rigmarole of using 4 different skills in a particular order just to use the one skill that I really wanted to. I can't remember what I had for breakfast this morning, let alone what order of skills that I want to use in battle. Like, give me a break. The overcomplication was just getting ridiculous. Thankfully, it looks like many people had the same gripes that I did, because many of my qualms were addressed in Tales of Arise. I had the opportunity to play through the demo yesterday, and it really didn't take me all that long, only about 45 minutes to an hour, playing on normal difficulty. You essentially get to explore 3 different outdoor areas, partake in fully voiced Phantasy Star 4 style cartoony skits, play around and experiment with all 6 different playable characters, and just get a taste for what it's all about. You get to really dabble in the battle system, but not much else. This is not a story demo. This is a gameplay demo, and I, for one, applaud their decision for that. The first thing that I noticed were the graphics, and they are certainly a step up from Zestiria and Berseria. This truly is next gen. They're crisp, clean, sharp, and not overly cartoony. I found myself stopping just to look at all the sweeping vistas, the waterfalls, the birds flying overhead, and the faint glimmers of towns off in the distance. You really can tell that a lot of care was put into the creation of this world. The fields are not narrow hallways, nor are they massive expanses either. There's a good balance between exploration and just getting to where you need to go. I mean, there is a difference between Final Fantasy XIII and Zelda Breath of the Wild. This was open enough to explore, but not so open that you're overwhelmed. And the world was just full of secrets too. At one point, I fell into the river, expecting to either not be able to fall off the cliff, or just die and get a game over, or just get reset back to land. But, to my pleasant surprise, I was actually able to swim around, and down there I found treasures behind a waterfall, as well as hidden secret grottos, and little things like that are really what makes an RPG worth playing for me. As you're exploring the fields, you'll find treasure chests tucked away, but more out in the open, you'll see scattered gathering points for food, used for cooking, which you can get from plants or things like milk from cows. There's also mining points for ore. In my travels, I also encountered a merchant who sold some items, but more importantly, he was able to craft accessories. And yeah, normally I don't like crafting, but there's a difference between good crafting and bad crafting. And this was good crafting. Basically, all it asks is if you have the needed resources. You say yes, and then boom, you craft your item. There's no tinkering around with endless mini-games or standing over an alchemy pot for hours either. It's just wham, bam, here's your accessory, ma'am. The heart and soul of the demo was the battle system, and believe me, there's beauty in simplicity. I don't need, like, or even want overly complex battle systems that I have to relearn if I haven't put the game down for a week. Here's the deal. It is back to the basics, while still being just as satisfying as the old games, and I love it. Essentially, you can assign up to 6 arts to each character, 3 ground level arts, and then 3 different aerial arts. They don't use MP. They instead use up skill points, which do regenerate over time by physically attacking. You're not going to be dealing a lot of damage though just by using regular attacks. Your major source of damage is going to be coming from unites with your other party members. As the fight wears on, each party member's portrait will slowly light up, and once it gets fully lit, you just press the directional button that corresponds to their portrait, and then you'll do a dual attack for massive damage. So, there's a healthy balance between attacking to rebuild your art gauge, using your arts for more damage, and waiting for your unite attacks to come to fruition. There's a lot to juggle, but by the end of the day, it's pretty simple and intuitive. The normal battles went by easily enough, but at the end you have a boss fight, and let me tell you, playing on normal difficulty was not easy. I had to change my strategy to focus on healing, as well as use plenty of healing items, CP restoring gels, and even life bottles just to barely scrape by. The series has evolved from just press X and circle to win, to actively having to strategize in order to win the tougher fights, and I really do appreciate that. I had a great time with the demo, and I am certainly looking forward to playing the game upon its release on September 10th of this year. Well, that's it for my review of the Tales of Arise demo. How did you like it? Do you agree or disagree? Let me know in the comments. And if you like what I do here on the channel, please consider supporting me on Patreon for early access to my videos, coming over to the Discord to chat and hang out, or joining up on the Twitch for some wacky streaming fun. The link to it is in the video description as well as the comments. I do hope to see you there. And as always, if you like this, please like, comment, and subscribe, and have a good day.